Storms through daybreak, lows in the upper 60s. Monday, showers likely, a chance of thunderstorms in the morning. We'll see highs in the mid-80s throughout the afternoon. I'm Jared Cirillo, your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits.
Details.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 52 days.
Kirstad with a drive, deep left center, and that ball's gone. Heston hammers one the other way. The Blonde Bomber has a 3-run shot. 2 home runs for the Orioles in the first inning as Santander and Kirstad make it 4-0 right from the start.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
So Heston Kirstad is having some success right now for the Baltimore Orioles, hitting over 300, his 3rd home run of the season. You just heard. We've got some Hog news to get into, not just Heston, but Summer League has started, some former Razorbacks a part of that, and some other things that we'll discuss here on a Hot Take Money. Hot takes are coming. It was hot over the weekend, but Tommy, we actually have some cool weather heading our way this week.
A lot of rain headed our way. You got all your fingers? All the digits? Everybody got all their 10? Hold up your 10s. Or your 5s. Everybody good?
Good
all
to
the
go.
Fingers
I
there?
didn't shoot off any fireworks for the first time in 20-some-odd years.
Well,
too much house stuff to repair.
Repair? You just bought it. What do you mean repair?
Well, there's just lots of little things here and there. You have
just closed last week
to fix. I mean, you know how it is. Your wife's always doing something, I would assume, and I want to fix up everything how it needs to be.
Hey, Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72. Off of I-49 in Springdale. Summer camping, I was up near Norfolk, or was on the Norfolk River near Norfolk Lake this weekend. Saw lots of quality campers, many of them Grand Design and Forest River. Saw a couple of Brinkleys as I was floating down the Norfolk there at the Corps of Engineers Park. And, hey, if you want to do it in style next summer, Wheels can get you fixed up right there. Every new RV also comes with a lifetime warranty, so that you can camp with confidence. Stop in and see the crew at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
So, tell me if I'm wrong on this. I feel like that the majority of people did not get anything accomplished last week. 4th of July fell on a Thursday. Many people were off Friday. People didn't try much on Wednesday. And there were some businesses, some people that just took off all of last week, took advantage of, and I realized that 4th of July, again, it falls on different days each year, but it felt like there was not a lot accomplished in Arkansas last week.
Probably not. And the dead period for high schools ends today, so kids are back at practice and back in the routine at school, getting ready for football season or whatever activity your kids are in. They're going to be back at it today. I know Dylan's got to go to football practice this morning. And be there at 8 o'clock. So, everybody kind of gets back into routine. I think end of June, July, particularly for kids or for families with kids in school, in high school, that's the only time you can vacation. So I agree. Next year, I've already looked, 4th of July falls on a Friday. So it'll just be a long weekend next year.
That's nice. Well, you mentioned
I kind of like the Thursday because we took Friday off and had a 4-day weekend. It was really nice.
It was.
Next year we won't get as long a break.
Well, we can always just take off on Thursday too. We can add that additional day if we need to. But hopefully everyone had safe, like Tommy said.
It's like you just said. It was so great for productivity. Let's already plan a 4-day weekend to get less done.
Might as well accomplish that. Hope everyone is safe. I know that Roger from Van Buren enjoyed his weekend. He was our USA Fireworks Banging giveaway winner. Chris Brewer and the team over there gave him a $2,000 fireworks show. You mentioned before the show the fireworks show that you took in, which was quite fun for your family. Not only did they waste your money, but you also had, I say waste money, you actually enjoyed buying them for your kids, but you also took
I don't know if I enjoyed it. Dwayne up at the Y store in Sellersville, he fixed us up, but hey, it's just like lighting money on fire. And but the kids enjoyed it. It's once a year. We always do our family reunion. We go up to Norfolk. We've got a place up there, and there's about 20 of us up there again this year. And the kids, mine are now kind of the older kids of the kids group. Dylan's 14. The youngest, I guess, is 3, 4. So, I mean, you got a pretty good range there. But those kids love running around. They love shooting off the fireworks. So, it's fun watching them.
Yep. All right, so let's talk some football as we're less than 2 months out from Arkansas's season opener against UAPB. While we don't have a lot of, practice to tell you about because it's not happening. You mentioned not that day just for high schools, but not a lot going on. There is some news on the recruiting side of things. You had a big commitment over the weekend. We'll start with the good news, then we'll get into the bad news first. A big commitment for the Arkansas Razorbacks over the weekend as Tavian Wallace, 4-star linebacker out of Jessup, Georgia, who Travis Williams has been on for a while, committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks. This is a top 40 overall kid. It's a kid that was looking at Florida State, Georgia, and others. He elected to leave his home state and leave much closer schools and at least commit to your Arkansas Razorbacks. This is a guy that you're going to have to stay with for the falling nuts. Hopefully when it gets to December, he inks that paper and he signs with you. Here's the bad news. 2 in-state players, one a lot less heralded than the other, but both teammates, Montario Elston and then Omarion Robinson have both committed elsewhere. Elston's going to K-State. Robinson is going to Oklahoma. You have lost guys to Oklahoma before. The most notable player probably being Keith Jackson. The recent player that I think
going back away.
Yeah, the recent player I think about. Well, that's the one that I think a lot of people like when you think about a kid you lose to Oklahoma. That's the one you think about.
No, that's right. But you're going back to what was that? 83, 84,
that was
83?
Just when looking at this, I'm like, that's the biggest one you've ever lost out of state. Recently, it's actually a friend of mine, Trey Norwood, ends up going from Northside to Oklahoma. And Arkansas didn't recruit him. Why they didn't is dumb. There's a kid that is playing in the now. I don't know what team he's on now. He was on the Steelers. I don't know what he's playing now. But this is a kid that you let out of the state. There's no reason to leave him out of the state. Now you've got
Mark Hudson. There would be another one.
There's another one. But you've got 2 players now in Marcus Wimberly, who was originally committed to Arkansas out of Bauxite, and then also Robinson, who just committed over the weekend, which was not positive news. I think one of my hot takes this morning here on Hot Take Monday, I think Oklahoma is going to be a bigger issue for you in football recruiting than Texas is. I know that's hard to to grapple with this morning. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but I think it's closer to Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and Little Rock as well, which is predominantly where you're going to get a lot of kids. You're seeing some Little Rock improvement in football with Parkview and the program that Brad Boulding has put together. But that to me is an issue when 4 of your top in-state kids. Andrew Hutchinson wrote a fantastic piece on Best of Arkansas Sports detailing not just this year's class, but what's gone on in recent years. And Arkansas has not had the same in-state success. And I wonder if it's going to be a thing that it's going to be a norm moving forward. Tommy, one of the things we were discussing kind of pre-show is maybe you just didn't have enough money. Maybe you're not going to have enough money. So I wonder if this is going to be a thing you'll just have to deal with until it switches over from a revenue sharing standpoint.
We just had this discussion on Tuesday. I mean, the ramifications of Texas and OU and kind of how things could potentially fall. And maybe you're seeing an example of it. Maybe you're not this weekend. It's a long way from signing day, but we talked about Texas becoming the kingpin again in the Lone Star State. A&M would be kind of number 2 when it comes to kids that want to go to the SEC. Oklahoma's going to get there. Where does that push Arkansas down to? Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, we don't know all the details. This is an example of what we're already seeing unfold. I know this. they committed, right? They didn't sign. They're not obligated. It's a free trial, so to speak. I do think NIL has its place in this conversation as well. All right, a lot to get to here this morning. Big weekend that we'll recap. Big week coming up as we all kind of get back into the groove. And we're brought to you by our friends at Oaklawn. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, you need to do that. With Oaklawn, there's always a season, and there's always action to wager on. Baseball, basketball, football, preseason football projections and futures are there. Hockey, table tennis. I mean, the list goes on and on. You get a first bet insurance bet or free bet of up to $250 on a second chance bet if it doesn't work out. Create your account. Make your first wager of at least $10. If it doesn't work out, Oaklawn will give you a free bet up to $250. Bet with Arkansas brand, the brand the best brand in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
All right, when we return, we'll get into our hot takes and more next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
This is the Morning Rush.
Give me the hogs, Chuck. Give me the hogs.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit #2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio station.
Bud Light Morning Rush Podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
That was 10 years ago in the Texas Bowl. Tywan Johnson, actually a classmate of mine, recovered that touchdown in the old Texas Bowl in Houston, NRG Stadium. I remember that. That was quite fun. Is
it 10 years ago?
10 years ago, 24 after the 2014 season. I remember they had an open bar. They did an ID for the media. It was great. All right.
Oh, that's what you remember.
That's what I remember. All right, we got a hog.
Was that your first time out?
Oh, not first time. One of the many times I shouldn't have been drinking underage. All right, we got our hog update to get to coming up in just a bit. There are some Razorbacks that had some notable things happen to them this week, including the highlight that we just played of Heston Kjerstad. We also have our Hot Take Monday to get to as well.
Hey, if you're finding or looking for and in search of the right financing to remodel your current home or build a new one, it's easier than ever when you stop by and see our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. 25 locations. Their experts are there at each stop to help you from start to finish. Or you can log on at myaglender.com and see all the financing options that are available that Farm Credit offers. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, making dreams come true for more than 100 years. That's myaglender.com, myaglender.com.
All right, we'll start with Heston again. You heard the TV call earlier. Let's play the radio one.
Goes, and that is clocked to center field. Ladaine on his horse, going back, track, ball, darn! Heston Kjerstad with a frozen rope, slicing over the wall to left center field. Give Kjerstad a weaver, and the 3-run shot means a 4-run first inning.
So they beat the Athletics 6-3 yesterday. Again, congratulations to Heston, who's playing quite well. Also, again, had that hit. And the Baltimore Orioles right now are one of the top teams in baseball. They're 57-33. They are right there with Cleveland for the best team in the American League and atop the AL East, where the Yankees are up there as well. But, yeah, you've got a good team, and you've got, I would say, the Razorback that's probably in the MLB has gotten the most attention as of late. We played an Andrew Benintendi highlight here and there, but the White Sox suck. The Orioles being one of the best, if not the best teams in baseball, Heston's gotten some attention after being called back up.
And I heard a conversation earlier this morning about the youth movement and, getting some of these younger names promoted, and Paul Skeens was the center of the conversation,
Yep.
Another SEC guy we're familiar with, and the conversation centered around with the All-Star game coming up and the All-Star break. Should Skeens be the starter for the National League? And, the point is baseball needs some moments. Really the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, I don't say stealing their thunder, but they borrowed some of the spotlight. That's for sure this summer. The NBA finals were over, 3 weeks ago now. We're talking about free agency, the draft, all these things. Football coming up, moves going on there. Baseball's got to do some things to get some spotlight. I think younger players and household, they need to develop household names. And you don't just say, all right, Paul Skeens, you're now a household name. That's not how it works, but they've got to do some things with some younger guys, because baseball's probably struggling right now to really have one defining superstar for the sport.
And that was one of my, you kind of blended, right, and we'll save it for just a bit. That was one of my hot takes this morning, is from a national. Now, for our audience, the MLB is dominating the WNBA. I don't know how much of our audience is paying attention to Caitlin Clark, who had a triple-double, by the way, this weekend. First ever for a rookie in the WNBA.
You knew that.
Angel Reese, both named All-Stars this weekend. But I think me and you are a little different because we have to be up to date on this information. But the majority of our audience didn't know that. But from a national standpoint.
How do you know that?
I think the majority. I mean, I could be wrong because the majority.
I got friends that are my age and older that are keeping up with what Caitlin Clark is doing.
Well,
and she's somewhat appointment TV for them.
Yeah. All right. Let's just. We'll get to some hog stuff coming up in just a bit. We might as well just get into our hot takes because that is one of mine.
It's Hot Take Monday, presented by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
That's hot. That's hot.
To re-say what you just said, I think it's odd, and I never would have thought in a million years I'd say this in July, but the WNBA is getting more national attention, it seems like. What really, those two players, I don't
Caitlin Clark is leading, is the tip of the spear.
She's the face, but when you go to and I heard the national people talking about this morning on Unsportsmanlike, she's the face.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot definitively say who the face of the MLB is right now in baseball, and that is an issue for the sport. College has never, I don't think college necessarily has had a face for quite some time. I mean, Skeens was last year, but you can't year by year name out. You can name the Golden Spikes here and there, but you can't say that was the face of college baseball.
College baseball didn't have a face. A coach would be the face.
Yeah, over the course of years, you can't say that about the MLB. I don't think any of us would be able to name the quote-unquote the true face of the WNBA prior to this year. But because of Caitlin Clark's emergence, I think it's taken, or at least it's neck and neck. Maybe it hasn't 100% surpassed the MLB, but the conversation is pretty up there. Like if you listen to national radio shows, a lot of times it's if it's not the leadoff story, a lot of times when she does something, it's right up there, and it always seems to generate interaction.
Well, let's not confuse the WNBA with Caitlin Clark.
And that's probably the better way to put it.
It's kind of like taking the golf conversation from 15 or 20 years ago. Don't confuse golf with talking about Tiger. Don't confuse, talking about the WNBA, because no one's talking about or making an appointment to watch games that Caitlin Clark's not playing in. Maybe Angel Reese to a degree, but I mean, that's not what the guys I know and the ladies I know that watch with their husbands. That people that played 20, 30 years ago in high school that enjoy watching her play. They're watching Caitlin Clark. They're not watching the WNBA. So I don't think you can lump those two together, at least from my experience. And I think I'm on point here. We're not talking about the WNBA. We're talking about Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. And I think you got to separate those two things.
Yeah, and I will say, full disclosure, she has not gotten me to the television screen in the WNBA just yet. Now, I watched her a few times in college in the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't just flick on the television to watch a regular season Iowa game. But she has not done enough for me to get me to the television and watch a single one of her games, nor has Angel Reese. I see highlights, I'll read it, or I'll listen to interviews, I'll read stuff.
But you're keeping up.
Yes, I'm keeping up. But I think there is a difference between actually getting someone to the screen rather than just being aware.
But I don't know, the numbers show, I mean, of course, but, we can't compare it to the, total population out there. But when you look at who's watching games, and particularly right now in July, which is not one of the most watched months of television in general, much less, sports, there's a lot of people watching. I mean, she moves the needle, whatever that needle is in July, she's moving it.
And not just in attendance numbers in Indianapolis, but actually on the screen, like you're saying.
So, but let's not confuse the WNBA conversation with the Caitlin Clark conversation.
That's a better way to separate it. It's just saying Caitlin and
because
versus the MLB.
It's just like golf and Tiger. We didn't talk golf 15 years ago. We talked about Tiger Woods 15 years ago. All right, Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Lee J and Chris have such a great operation out there. We trust them. You should trust them too. In fact, they back all of their products, whether it's Grand Design, Forest River, or Brinkley, or anything else. All their new RVs come with a lifetime warranty. Now, that's standing behind something. Find them at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
All right, Chuck's going to join us when we return. We'll let him jump in on this conversation, some recruiting, and also some Arkansas basketball news next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jalen Williams, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richard's paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Hi everybody, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, this month get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time
every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I don't think anyone understands it until you're in the middle of it. I don't think we understood it. To Texas and Oklahoma, well, maybe. Now, look, I'm not going to take part in a pep rally for either one of these guys. You know, fate's brought them here, and this is kind of how it's worked out. Man, you played that Eyes of Texas earlier, and all that brought back to me was just a bunch of childhood, teenage memories. Now, look, I view it from two different spectrums. You know, from a broadcast perspective, Craig Way at Texas, good as it gets. And I feel the same way about Toby Rowland in Oklahoma. I look forward to working with them. Good guys, good broadcasters. I have a lot of respect for them. But I'm not going to pull for these guys. You know, I'm not going to pull for them. And I don't think very many Arkansans are.
Yeah, definitely something that I think everyone listening to the program agrees with the Sooners and the Longhorns entering the league. There was not a lot of love that was brought to them. I know a lot of Arkansas fans were. You remember, Tommy? You remember when they had the Sooner schooner and the mascot, and they brought them on campus when Oklahoma was just going across to different SEC schools, and they posted it near Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Arkansas fans were like, "Why did you do this?" It's just kind of part of the public relations sort of things. But yes, there was not exactly a huge welcoming party. Oklahoma going into your state. At least getting a couple commits, a big one this weekend. We're going to talk with Chuck about that and also come back to the Caitlin Clark versus MLB conversation as well.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. That was a hot take there from Chuck we kind of rolled in with. What are your hot takes? You can call or text them into us right now. Also, are you ready for some football this fall? Hardee's and ESPN Arkansas are getting you ready with a football trip of a lifetime. Guys, we've done this this will be our 19th annual. I remember the first one we ever did was, Chuck, when Arkansas played USC, Oklahoma played UCLA the same day out on the West Coast in 2006, and that was the first time we gave away a football trip of a lifetime, and we're doing it again this year. You'd like this one, Chuck. Cowboys and Eagles, November the 10th, AT&T Stadium. If you need a monster burger in 150 seconds or less, you qualify for your chance to be in the finals. Keep it right here on the Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach. Also, our social media pages for all the details. Qualifiers start soon, so it's that time of year again. Make sure you secure your seat for the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime and thick burger eating contest with Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
I think I could eat a thick burger in 150 seconds. I think I could do that.
I think
I could qualify.
I think
Can I win?
I think I'd like to see you try that. Yeah.
Well, I could do it.
I think all of our audience would like to see you do that. No, you could definitely compete if you wanted to.
That first contest went a lot better than that game did out there. But man, that's a great day if you just were a college football fan and you like to travel and see games. You could go to the Coliseum and see the Hogs, and you could go to the Rose Bowl and see the Sooners and the Bruins play. That was two pretty good games within, I don't know how many miles that would be, but probably a 2-hour drive in LA traffic.
Mean, you think about who was on that team with Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush, 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Would you just never see? I mean, that was one of the best college football.
Best team money could buy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Who was a part of that team? I thought Arkansas, Chuck. I know you remember 2006. I thought Arkansas had him first half. Dallas and Washington takes that kid out. And I'm thinking it's 13-7 at half. This is going to be a game, and then John David Booty and those guys roll over in the second half. Unfortunately,
it had been 05. I got my year. It was 05. We went out there, not 06. 06 when they played here.
So. Yep. So that was those USC teams with Pete Carroll back in the day were pretty dominant. You mentioned the best team money can buy. Seems like Oklahoma is making an investment with their recruiting class, as is Texas. We know the money is, and not just going into Texas and staying in state, but also going to Arkansas. A couple kids recently committed. One that was originally committed to Arkansas, and Marcus Wimberly, Bauxite, and then Marion Robinson commits to Oklahoma over the weekend, the first or second best player in the state, depending on who you ask. Chuck, I think that Oklahoma, one of my takes this morning is I think Oklahoma might be a bigger issue for you in football recruiting moving forward. Proximity. I know people hate Texas, but I think the Sooners might, with Brent Venables from the defensive side, I think that might be more of a draw when it comes to certain defensive players in this state.
Well, Oklahoma's always been more of a competitor in recruiting than Texas has been. I don't ever recall a time when one of the top players from Arkansas went to play for Texas. I guess it might have happened back in the 60s before my time, but I don't recall that. There have been several players from Arkansas that have gone to play for Oklahoma over the years. So I would expect them to recruit Arkansas, just like I would expect Arkansas to continue to recruit Oklahoma. We've plucked a lot of great players out of there before.
And it should be noted, it's not just a one-sided affair. Think about Felix Jones, one of the best running backs in your history. Booker T. Washington. Think about one of the best players, if not the best players on your team right now. Luke Haas, Big CB Oklahoma, which is basically a suburb of Tulsa. So it's a back and forth. I just know it hurts for Arkansas fans that as of this morning, on July the 8th, 4 of your top 6 players are committed elsewhere outside of Arkansas. And
I don't think that should be a surprise, Ty, because I think that the overriding issue for the players is who's my coach going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you pick up your phone, one of these part-time media people's got a list of hot seat coaches. And Sam Pittman's always on it. So I'm sure right now, just to be blunt, not that hard to recruit against Arkansas. It's not that hard to come in here and get an Arkansas kid to at least think about you. Because every time you read anything about Arkansas, it's not anything about the players. Is Sam Pittman going to get fired?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people ask. So I think it's natural that you have this situation. Now, look, it was a mixed bag last week. Before we lament the fact that a couple of kids left, let's not forget the fact that a top 40 national guy picked you. Now, here's the difference. That kid, and all this hinges upon what happens this season. Let's just be clear on that. Let's be clear on 2 things. Number 1, we're not privy to the conversations, none of us are, that went on with any of these kids. And number 2, let's be clear that these commitments will turn into signatures based on what happens this fall. If Arkansas has a lousy season, Sam Pittman's going to get fired. Travis Williams is going to get fired. Tavion Wallace won't come here. If Arkansas has a great season, if Arkansas has a good year, everybody's excited about Razorback football, I'd be willing to bet you that these kids reconsider. And I'd be willing to bet you that the overall mood changes. When Sam Pittman's not at 13 or 14 on every one of these, which coach is going to get fired first or sometimes first or second, when your coach stops being on that list, if you have a good year, a lot of this stuff stops. So my feeling on these commitments, the good one and the bad ones, are that you've got every opportunity to change the bad one, and you've got every opportunity to lose the good one based on what happens this fall.
And if you win, say, 8 games, if you somehow pull out a 9th win this year, what also happens? That NIL money becomes a little looser, greasing those skids and getting people to help fund the things you need and the players you want, particularly in that class to follow in 26 with some great kids in state and maybe getting some of those 25s that committed elsewhere back in. Man, you start getting things rolling. You beat LSU at home at night. You beat a Tennessee. You go win at Oklahoma State. Some of those things that have to happen in order for 8 wins to happen, other things loosen up that become resources to Sam Pittman. Chuck, you're spot on about the conjecture out there that, makes the stability of the program questionable. But, man, you go out and you get those wins. I think what this program needs as much as anything is NIL funding. We've seen the difference it's made with basketball already. You win games. I think some of those purse strings loosen up. I think it's pretty obvious. And I think this class and then the 26 class are crucial for getting this program, on more stable footing.
Well, if you win, the money follows.
Right.
I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, the last time Arkansas had sustained success in football, they built a new football building. It's amazing how that money flows when you're winning games. So, yes, all that stuff will happen. Now, there's going to be clearly a mechanism in place to pay the players. It's going to transition from the predominant portion of that money coming from NIL to revenue share. Either way, it's money you got to go collect from people. And if you win, that money's going to flow. And if you're not winning, it's not going to flow and you're going to lose kids. But I'm telling you, uncertainty is what affects recruiting more than anything. You've got to have a certain degree of certainty when you talk to a kid to have a chance. Even in a what have you done for me today world, there has to be some certainty in your message or you're really behind the eight ball.
I don't know, you mentioned not being privy to these conversations. I don't know this to be factual, but I would guess there's probably some negative recruiting going on from coaches that are recruiting against you. It's not just the not just the journalists on social media, but the fans. But I would guess again, that's.
I mean, everyone says we take the high road, and then everybody, when someone goes low, they go lower. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah. Now I will say you kind of went over Tavian Wallace real quick. Apparently, I was reading up. Travis Williams has been on him for a while. It's built a relationship. They're connected somehow through, I think, another player, if I remember that right. But this is, I mean, he went into Kirby's backyard in Jessup, Georgia. Florida State, Mike Norvell were apparently on this kid as well. He had offers all over the place. And, I mean, it's one thing to, again, go get a kid that's a 4 or 5 star in the state. But I will say one of the things I have noticed at Sam Pittman, I didn't notice this as much with some other schools. I think Ahmad Carroll is one of the outstanding players that you've ever plucked away out of Georgia. But they have had more of a foothold there, being that's not Sam's roots, but he was in Athens for a little bit. I have noticed they've had a little more success in Georgia than maybe some other coaches, Chuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody's got a place they target, and it's been obvious. They've targeted South Georgia. He's talked about South Georgia from the moment he took the job. Mm-hmm. That's been a focal point. But I'll go back to what I said a little bit ago, how it's contingent upon this fall. A player like Tavion Wallace, as highly rated as he is, he can take a chance. He's got a relationship with Travis Williams. He can come to Arkansas. If it doesn't work out and everybody gets fired, he might be the most highly rated player in the portal. He's going to be fine. And, you got to find a few guys here and there that are willing to take a chance. Mm-hmm. But, here's the thing, too. A lot of that negativity, if you want to use that term, I don't know that they notice negativity about the Razorbacks in Georgia the way they do in Arkansas. I don't know that it's focused. I doubt on the talk shows in Georgia they get on and take the woe is me attitude. The way some of us do. And I'm not casting stones. I'm just saying that is reality. And so, again, I think if you have a good year this year, all this narrative changes. If you have a bad year, everybody's going to get fired, and there's going to be a new coach.
Yeah, and kind of going off your point about, if you're a really good player, there's always room. When you're a really good player in state, there's probably always going to be room found for you on Arkansas's roster. That may not always be the case at a program like Oklahoma. You may have a window, and they're looking at only a certain number at a position, and they're going to get their guy for this class. In Arkansas, if you become available, even if there's not room, they'll make room for an in-state kid. A lot of times that rises to that level of hype and ability, I guess, so to speak.
Here's the thing that's always been really important to me in terms of in-state recruiting. And certainly there are players who've gone to other places who have blossomed and in some cases gone to the National Football League. But to me, the test of your in-state recruiting is, do you keep your generational talents? And you look at Arkansas since they've joined the SEC. For the most part, they've kept their generational talents. They kept Sean Andrews. They kept Matt Jones. They kept Darren McFadden. I've always considered Mallett to be an in-state guy because, Texarkana is, it's on both sides of the state there. Mm-hmm. And I consider Mallett to be an Arkansan, always have. You got some kids at Warren, from Warren. Mm-hmm. After you lost some guys from Warren to Tennessee back in the 90s that everybody thought was going to be the death knell of the program, if you really look at it, there's one player that we've lost since we joined the SEC that I wonder what it might have been like had he come to Arkansas, and that's D'Angelo Williams. The others, with all respect, some of them have gone on to play in the league, but none of them have been a generational talent. I think in state it's important to keep your generational guys. I don't keep up with high school football enough to know who's really a generational talent. I knew McFadden was good, for example, coming out, but I'd not watched him play as a high schooler much. I didn't realize he was going to be what he was. I'd heard about Matt Jones since he was in 8th grade, but I didn't know exactly what he was going to be like. Same for Sean Andrews. So you're going to lose guys from time to time, just like you're going to go to other places. Now, here's what changes. You cited Felix Jones a little bit earlier. Back when Arkansas got Felix Jones, they didn't beat Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. They beat Tennessee. In fact, he was going to Tennessee until Bobby Allen flipped him in the last 24 hours. What changes now is a great player from Oklahoma that wants to play in the Southeastern Conference can go to OU.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before they had to come to Arkansas. I don't know if you get a kid like that. I don't know if a kid like that it comes down to Tennessee or Arkansas next time. It may be OU, Tennessee, and Arkansas next time. So I do think that dynamic changes moving forward. And I agree with your original point that Oklahoma, as they always have been, will be a greater recruiting threat than Texas.
Yeah, and I think some of the names that kind of popped up in my head that you would have liked to have, you mentioned D'Angelo Williams, which I guess went to Memphis and was an outstanding, I say outstanding, good NFL running back. Like, a guy that I, like, personal to me was Michael Dyer, who won the MVP of the
But he was not a generational talent.
Well, I was going to...
He was not a generational talent.
Yeah.
He was a good player, great player, but not a generational talent.
Yeah, you lost, and one of the things that Andrew Hutchinson cited in his article is losing a guy like Lee Zimba, who was an All-American at Auburn. You lost Cody Burns, who helped them win a national championship.
Not a generational talent, though.
Yeah,
respectfully.
But I think that's the generational, because I think what you're saying is accurate. But you also have guys that were pivotal pieces on certain teams that either help contribute.
Let's see the article about all the pivotal players in our history that we've plucked from other states.
Yeah.
Because we say all the time, well, there's not enough players to go around in our state. We got to go get players from other places. We have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for every player we've lost, we've gained one, maybe more, if you really look at the history of our program. So it's easy to take a snapshot. It's easy to do that. Here's the deal. You have a good year this fall, all the narrative changes. If you have a bad year this fall, you're probably looking at a change, and there's a sense of hope that always comes with a new hire.
Yeah. And maybe the same thing is true for Oklahoma, because, you know, Venables is a 2 or 3 game losing streak away from being squarely on the hot seat himself. Don't kid yourself. He's not on the firmest of ground either.
I think they have to swim with him. I think they got to go with Venables. I don't think you can come into the SEC and make a coaching change in the first year or two. I think that sends a signal that we're not ready. I think they've decided to go with Venables. I mean, they had a good year last year. You know, what'd they win, 10 games last year?
10-3.
I mean,
yep.
You know, not everybody wins 10 games. We'd take that in a heartbeat right now. Hey, let me pause just for a second and talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. My partners, lifetime partners. The thing I loved about them at the beginning and the thing I like about them now is they meet you right where you are. For some people, it's a first time out. For others, you've been doing it a while. Wherever you are in your real estate journey, you've got a partner with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. And if you're fortunate like I was, they become a lifetime partner. They understand your needs. They communicate. It's the most money you've ever spent, generally speaking. It does make sense, whether you're the buyer or the seller, to have someone on your side of the table who knows exactly where you're coming from and can articulate that to everybody in the room. And that was my experience, and I think it'll be your experience too. They've got offices in Washington and Benton County. They're certainly in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Branson. You can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
So there's WNBA history made this weekend when Caitlin Clark had the first ever triple-double for a rookie.
Clark with a 3 on the way, and the first triple-double for rookie Caitlin Clark has it. More history for the Fever rookie. The records keep coming.
Chuck, we got a couple texts in before you came on about I think the better way to frame it is Caitlin Clark versus the MLB. Like Scott, for example, hasn't watched any MLB this summer, but he's watched every single Caitlin Clark game. We've got a few other texts here, like Rusty, that's saying that he's 59. He's never watched a WNBA game before in his life, and now he never misses an Indianapolis Fever game. I think what's interesting is like the MLB is trying to figure out who their their face of the league is probably a better term. And I think there's a real case to be made that there is, at least in the same conversation, the WNBA and MLB, which I never would have thought I'd say. And I keep saying WNBA. Caitlin Clark is being talked about as much as any MLB team right now. Do you agree with that?
Well, maybe in certain circles, yes. Generally speaking, no, because, I mean, let's just be honest. There's not the WNBA network. There's not, there's not 24-hour programming dedicated to this. It does not generate the revenue. Sometimes it seems impossible to fathom how Major League Baseball makes as much money as they do. But they're making a lot of it, and the WNBA's not. So, I'm not being critical at all. I do agree that there is a fascination with the WNBA right now, and on many fronts I think it's good. I don't know how much of it's the WNBA and how much of it's Caitlin Clark. I don't know yet.
I think it's Caitlin Clark. Like you mentioned, me just kind of knowing that the All-Stars of being Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, I couldn't tell you outside of Paul Skeens a single MLB All-Star. I got a single one. But I do know that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are both WNBA All-Stars.
Again, for 20 years, we didn't talk about golf. We talked about Tiger. We're not talking about the WNBA. We're talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese to a degree. I mean, I don't think you can say, well, the WNBA is taking over the summer. No, I think Caitlin Clark is taking over the summer.
Yeah, let's be honest as we talk about the WNBA. We're talking about Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. Angel Reese, respectfully, she is not the standalone star that Caitlin Clark is. Angel Reese would not be as big a star if there were not Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark would be every bit as big a star as she is now, with or without Angel Reese. So she is the league. She is the face of the entire sport right now. And I think we have to be honest enough to acknowledge that. And that's why I wonder if there's going to be staying power. Now, thankfully, she's good. Thankfully for the WNBA, she's good. And that's their saving grace. I hear the comparison because the WNBA and Major League Baseball are summer programs. Mm-hmm. It's summer programming. So I get the comparison. But my guess would be, if you were to tally up all the people who've watched a Major League Baseball game and all the people who've watched a WNBA game, it would be overwhelmingly Major League Baseball.
Well, and if you draw them out of a hat, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, I'm making a total guess, but I would bet NBA Summer League is going to have bigger numbers than your WNBA games without Caitlin Clark. I mean, and it's going to be exponentially larger.
Yeah, what started?
Oh, the Nationals could play, the worst team in baseball, the Rockies, and that's going to draw more viewers than a WNBA game without Caitlin Clark.
But the problem baseball has is to your point, the Rockies playing whoever, it's become such a regional. Are you going to watch that game living in Arkansas, or if you were living in Florida, if it's two teams out west? Probably not, because the star power isn't there,
and it's hard.
And baseball makes, you're right, baseball makes it difficult to watch as well. Baseball's become as regional as anything else.
You guys are too young to remember Mark the Bird Fidrich back in the 70s. You were talking earlier in the hour about the All-Star game and who should start. Mark the Bird Fidrich started for the American League, and it was he was a huge star. Now, unfortunately, back then, when you messed up your elbow, your career was over. He messed up his elbow, and his career was over. But for one season, one summer, he was the biggest star in sports. And they gave him the start in the All-Star game because of that, and the National League should do the same thing with Paul Skeens.
Absolutely. Hey, we're brought to you by Westart Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. They've been around for 30 years. And if you're having problems on this Monday following a holiday with a water, sewer, gas, or grease line, there's one number you need to call, 479-646-50 646-5151. 646-5151. No one likes to start their week off with a plumbing issue, but there's experts out there that can be headed your way. 479-646-5151. West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Again, since 1993, whether it's water, sewer, gas, or grease, they can help fix you up. 479-646-5151 for West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
We're going to get an early week recruiting update from Richard Davenport when we return.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is The Morning Rush.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Wes. Billy, P is for horses. I have an idea to bring in more customers. What you got? We yell on the radio, woo, pig suey. We're going to call the hogs? Yeah, we call them all in. Woo, pig suey. Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pixie!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pixie!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
tackle. The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to help you have a great time. Going fishing? Jelco has one of the largest selections of fishing equipment and gear for your day on the water. Taking a vacation? Jelco has a great selection of casual shirts, shorts, and comfortable shoes to make your vacation one to remember. Fall is not far away, so start getting your bows and guns ready for fall. Jelco Outdoors, your store for all season. Have a great summer from Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are expected to see a chance of some showers, some scattered thunderstorms. Our high temperatures today in the low to mid 80s. We'll see an increasing chance of very heavy rain as the tropical moisture from Beryl starts to move in. Our overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 52 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Kerstad with a drive, deep left center, and that ball's gone. Heston hammers one the other way. The blonde bomber has a 3-run shot. 2 home runs for the Orioles in the first inning as Santander and Kerstad make it 4-0 right from the start.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
So it's hot this weekend, hot last week, and it's probably hot when you were shooting off fireworks. Just as Heston Kerson's bat is hot right now. He's hit over 300. That was his 3rd home run in the MLB after being called back up by the Baltimore Orioles, and one of the best teams in baseball, not just in the AL East, but in all of the MLB. We'll talk more about Heston coming up in this hour, but we didn't get a chance to catch up with Richard Davenport, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat Gazette, last week because of 4th of July. We'll do so this week, early, coming up in just a sec.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley, all the best brands, great prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. You mentioned the heat. Guys, I think probably everybody's minds this morning on how much rain we're going to get this week. With
it's coming.
Man, this hurricane hit, I guess, around Galveston this morning, and we'll be working our way here. So, I mean, there's parts of our state looking at 4+, 5+ inches of rain towards the central part and the southern part of the state. Here in northwest Arkansas, might be an inch or two, but Next couple of days, starting probably late tonight and into tomorrow, going to be a deluge in some places.
It's going to get soggy.
Yeah.
It's going to get soggy.
Never complain about July rain, but we're going to get a lot of it at once.
Well, as this new house has aged me 15 years, and
You've
besides,
only owned it 3 days.
aged me 15 years.
Oh, good
Besides
Lord.
this weekend and neighbors shooting off fireworks and worried if my roof is going to light on fire, I'm also now worrying about if my basement is going to leak, which it's going to. There's a just like the outside of the house when it leaks into the basement. There is a drain in the system, but that is one of the things that I have to worry about now. All these different things that pop into my head that I never thought about.
Have you become an old man already?
It aged me 15 years.
You
like
were
that.
worried about your
Get a
roof?
guy. Get a guy.
Yeah.
Get a guy.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to have a guy.
Absolutely.
All things.
You got to have somebody who you call when you don't know what's going on, which will be often.
I never understood why sometimes you were stressed, because I feel like I'm pretty stress-free for the most part, but now with the different things that you have to deal with, now I understand why you're stressed occasionally, because of not just family and dealing with that, but also the house stuff.
Welcome to adulthood, my man.
It's changed. It's definitely changed.
The first of 360 mortgage payments are all yours.
Yeah, that when they show you that figure and then they show you the final date, you're just kind of looking at it like, I really am doing that for another 30 years. And
hey, you'll be 59 when it's paid off.
Can't wait to that day. If I don't pay it off.
Well, you still have roommates at 59?
Probably my wife.
Well, but I mean, will you take on roommates?
Oh, if they can help the payment.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Now, I will say, real quick before we go to Richard, it's weird because I do have friends that were married that still had roommates because they wanted a nicer house. So they would live with either a cousin or a roommate because they're still married, but they wanted a nicer house. And that was the way to get it. So that's a philosophy I've not heard of, but they did it for a little bit. So, to each his own, I guess. All right, let's talk to Richard Davenport. Richard, we'll start with the good news, and we can talk about some of the in-state stuff. Taven Wallace, top 40 kid, was a guy that Mike Norvell, Florida State, Kirby Smart in Athens, and a lot of SEC schools were after. Seems like Travis Williams' relationship with him had a lot to do with him committing to Arkansas. What can you tell us about the Jessup, Georgia native?
Yeah, that was key as far as Travis Williams and the relationship, because he had a relationship with his brother when his brother was going through the recruiting process, and he eventually ended up at Kentucky, but was committed to Auburn at one time. So that they had kind of gotten obviously gotten to know the family very well, and I know that when he visited, I think that he was visiting because Travis Williams was such a good guy to him, and he really respected him. I don't think that he expected Arkansas to be like it was, and when it was, and then you throw in Travis Williams and the rest of the coaching staff. I think he was just blown away, and obviously that led to his commitment because he was really kind of, it seemed like, geared towards Florida or Florida State, but Arkansas got the first visit from him, and then he visited the other schools, and he still chose Arkansas, which is usually you like that last visit, but Arkansas got that first visit and obviously made a huge impression on him, and the relation, and you said it, the relationship with Travis was the key. Travis Williams has about as much energy and is about as upbeat as anybody you'll ever run into, and I think that's contagious to not only obviously kids, but even parents.
Richard, I'm assuming this is a kid you're going to have to battle still with and fend off other foes till December, till he actually inks. Is that how you think it's going to play out these next few months?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's basically for everybody until you sign them, and that's something that I know kind of you'd like to be able to have I know some coaches would kind of like to be able to sign them as soon as they commit, but that's obviously not the way it is right now. So you got to continue to recruit them, and let's face it, they got to win games. They got to win, and if they don't, it won't matter. But that's definitely part of the process of you stay in contact with them and try to fend off other schools, because other schools are not going to stop recruiting him.
Yeah, and Richard, as you talk to kids, talk to parents, talk to coaches, what seems to be the conversation about Sam Pittman and the confidence of him moving forward beyond this next season? Because I think at the core of all this is, negative recruiting or a reality that there's not the level you'd want in the belief that Sam's going to be here 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. And when you look at losing in-state kids, I think, that's conversation number one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it obviously when you come off a 4-8 season, there's gonna be an impact. There's no doubt about it. And then the talk of will he be there? Will he not be there? The only time you have that answer is sometime during the season. If the season's going well and they have a pretty good win column, you feel like, okay, well, they're going to be there the next year. So it is definitely something that schools, I'm sure, use against Arkansas. But all you can do is recruit the heck out of the guys and try to get them on board and convince them, hey, we in Arkansas, I think, is pretty optimistic about the season, but it's a brutal schedule too. Let's face it. I think they're going to be much better. All goes back to the offensive line, if you ask me, and I think it's going to be a better offensive line. But at the same time,
Terry Austin goes to K-State. Richard, why do you think he selected to, at least initially, to end up in Norman?
I think a large part of it was the relationship with that assistant coach. The assistant coach's name escapes me right now, but he mentioned that having that 4-year relationship, or he's been recruited by him since he was a freshman, and I'd heard long before that the relationship was very strong. I think that was the key. Obviously, Oklahoma's got a better tradition than Arkansas. Arkansas is a very good program, but Oklahoma's got some national championships. So, and he thinks that he can help them in the SEC, maybe win another national championship. But I think that relationship there really helped. Arkansas was the third school to offer him as a freshman, even before Oklahoma. But that relationship with the assistant, I think, was one of the main reasons. And obviously, you always think about NIL, but I don't think NIL was necessarily the situation in this case.
Do you think you have a chance to flip either of those kids, or maybe Marcus Wimberly, who's also committed to Oklahoma, and another notable kid being Karis Carter, number 1 player in the class? Do you have a chance to flip those kids, or are you thinking they're going to end up in Norman and Manhattan and Norman?
Well, I mean, obviously you continue to recruit them and try to flip them. I mean, Karis Carter, the guy's a difference maker wherever he goes. I mean, right now, obviously, he's slated to go to LSU. I don't think it's over. he initially, I think we talked about this initially after the Arkansas visit, told me that he doubted he visited LSU. There's a reason for why he doubted he would visit LSU. I think he was kind of sold on Arkansas after the official visit, and then obviously was convinced otherwise to visit, and then that obviously swung things towards them. But you got to continue to recruit him. He's one of the best prospects to come out of Arkansas in a long time, and could play either side of the ball. Then Robinson, he's a guy that could play either side of the ball. He's just a football player. You continue to recruit him too. And as far as Elston, I was kind of thinking I knew Kansas State got on him really early and offered him. If you look at the history of Kansas State, they have a history with smaller running backs, and I think that really helped. Yeah, because he's about a 5'7", 5'8" young man, and I think that played into his decision. And if you look at Arkansas, most of the backs are not that size, and also you're playing in the SEC, so that may be a hard one to turn, but you continue to recruit him too.
Richard, I was looking up that after the 21 season where they won 9 games, 13 of the 16 players in state signed and committed with Arkansas, 13 of the top 16. When you think about the class of 2026, which includes Kane Archer and some others, I think only one guy is committed out of state right now. It's in Tay Lockett, the Cali kid. Do you expect if Arkansas has a good season, that will have the biggest impact on flipping some of those 25 kids and a good jump start on the 26 class as well?
Oh, it's a must. It's an absolute must. If they don't have a good season, you can forget about the chances of flipping them. So that is a must. And let's face it, Arkansas, besides the 21 year when they had 9 wins, the only time Arkansas had anything like that before was 2011 when they had 11 wins. Arkansas has problems winning on a consistent level. That's a problem. And also, I think you need to win 9, 10, 11 games here or there once in a while too. And Arkansas hasn't been able to do that. I think when you get into double digits, that changes in the win column, it changes everything as far as in the perception of the program. And the perception of the program is 4-8 from last year. So that kind of help, that kind of contributes to the struggles right now. But you got to turn that around and start winning on a consistent basis.
Richard, we'll leave it there, man. Appreciate you joining us a couple days early this week, and we will chat later on next week.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here on the Morning Rush. We're brought to you by Williams Tractor and WT Equipment. 0% financing available right now. Bonus discounts and huge cash back, plus free add-ons at WT Equipment. There are locations all over our state and in Louisiana as well. If you're looking for 72-month financing, they have that available. If you need a compact tractor for everything that's on your chore list, they can help you with that. Right now, $2,300 in cash back, plus choose between 0% financing all the way up to 72 months, a free front-end loader, or a package that includes $10,000 in cash back as well. So get all of the financing options, all the cash back options, and find out what is your best deal at WT Equipment. There's a location in Springdale. It's right there. You'll see it on I-49 between the Johnson exit and Don Tyson. Take the Don Tyson exit, go to 48th. It's right down there. The entrance is on your right. Plus, you can go to WTEquip.com and find locations all over the state as well. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Chuck, you used the term generational talent earlier, and I think it's a good one when we kind of look at that 2026 class. Tommy, you brought that up a little bit as well. Kane Archer being a part of that class. Kane's already recruited a handful of players to Greenwood. They're going to run through 6A like Swiss cheese this year. I mean,
let's also see where his brother Cash goes.
Ends up as well.
He's a 25 guy.
So to me, and I think again, we talked about the winning aspect. I know those players can't help you right away. Like Kane, I don't think is going to start or play much as a freshman. We're not going to have a Mitch Mustang situation. But that is a kid that you can't miss on. And then also with Kern, I heard I heard someone on this program say that he compared him to Sean Andrews. I don't know if he's going to pan out like that, but you've got probably 2 kids in these next 2 classes that are about as pivotal of in-state products that you've had in quite some time. And I just wonder if missing on those guys, how much Arkansas could potentially regret that down the road if they don't end up at Fayetteville.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to have him. I mean, I'm not, I don't know how their recruiting's going. I'm certainly not going to play the what-if game. What if they don't come here? I have no idea what their recruiting's like. I'll go back to what Richard said, and it goes back to what I said in the first hour. We can analyze this to death, but now more than ever, it is a what have you done for me this morning world.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And rosters change. Everything can change in the blink of an eye. As we discussed earlier, one of 2 things is very likely to happen this fall. Arkansas has a good year. They go to a bowl game. Recruiting picks up. The narrative changes. They have a bad year. The whole thing gets blown up. The whole thing gets blown up. Now, at that point, maybe you hire a guy and he's able to salvage a great recruiting class. Bobby Petrino came in and salvaged a great in-state group, and it became the cornerstone for everything that he did here. Maybe, first off, I don't know that this class is like that. Might be. A lot of people say it is. I don't know. We'll find out. But one of those 2 scenarios is going to play out. So I'm not dismissing what a kid says he's going to do in the middle of the summer. I'm not dismissing that. But I'm saying that what happens in the fall is what's going to be what determines ultimately where that guy signs.
Ty, let me put it in terms you'll understand.
There we go.
There's a difference between getting engaged and getting married.
And
right now, this is engaging season.
Okay, that's a good way to.
Come December, it's marrying season.
Marriage season, yeah.
So we're just in engaging season right now.
Chuck, you made a great point about Petrino. People forget Joe Adams was heading out west to USC. Petrino comes in, and I don't know if he's the one that flipped him.
The others were going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Adams is the one that was not going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Mallett was coming back anyway. And if Mallett, I heard Ryan say that more than once. Those other guys were coming. Whatever was going on with the people in Warren, whatever issues were going on had been resolved. And those Warren kids were coming. You think about that group. I think one of the most underrated Razorbacks of all time is Jarius Wright. Great football player. And they coached the heck out of him, man. They got every ounce he had to give, I promise you. But that was an uncommon group. That was a tough group. That was a group of football players right there. Some of them were celebrated, some of them weren't. But, man, that was a great group of players.
Yeah, and you hope that Antonio Jordan will be the next. He's the Warren kid that just committed a week or so ago. You're hoping that he's in that long list of Warren wide receivers to end up having success at Arkansas, but it's a wait-and-see game with him. All right, we got our Morning Rush Daily Question when we return. Stay with us. It is a Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. And
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community. in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video up the weekend, gentlemen. Guys, what was the best part of your 4th of July weekend? We had a long break. Was it the food? Was it the family? Was it the lake, the pool, the fireworks? Ty, what was the best part of your long holiday weekend?
I'd say just closing on that house last week and getting everything moved in. It's kind of boring, but it's the truth. That was
that's a big step in life.
That was it's kind of not a scary situation, but I just wanted to make sure everything would go okay. It did. Luckily, Jeff over at Weicker Realtors Griffin Company kind of walked me through everything. Chuck, you always talk about not necessarily knowing every process. You talk about being as green as it gets. I didn't know anything prior to this last month about house.
That's odd. I would have thought you knew everything about it.
It was
that is true, man. The first time out, a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, but that was it. Yeah,
it's all your responsibility now,
I know.
too.
It's all on me. All the 40-something papers that I put my signature to that I didn't read a single one of them. Just, where did I sign? Here.
I always wondered when I went to a closing, what would they do if you wanted to sit there and actually read?
Not a single one of them. I asked my uncle. My uncle owns a business, and he's way more intelligent than me. And I asked him, I was like, Uncle Rob, did you read any of these? He's like, no, I just signed all of them. I'm going to wait. I wasn't going to wait that long. But yeah, just closing on that house, getting moved in. Yeah. It's very, again, 15 years. It aged me 15 years.
Yeah. Chuck, what was the best part of your 4th of July getaway?
Man, I just lounged. That's what I did. I'm old and boring. I didn't do anything fun like you guys, but I did enjoy the fireworks, and I enjoyed lounging.
Yeah. I enjoyed the time off. I mean, I had...
Yeah, that's lounging.
I had a vacation the week before, played some golf, and came back, had a day or two. Then we had the holiday break. But the best part of my holiday weekend was about 2.5 hours of fishing on the Norfolk River with both my kids. Well, 2 of my 3 kids. I shouldn't leave Taylor out, but Abigail and Dylan were there with me. And to get a 14-year-old and a soon-to-be 13-year-old to want to spend a couple hours with Dad in a boat on the river fishing,
that's a big deal.
I'm going to tell you, for a 48-year-old man, that was as good as it gets. So, my 14-year-old, he can cast on his own. She needs a little help, and hey, I love just watching them fish than as much as I enjoyed catching myself.
Does he have a better cast than me? Is he way ahead of me? 15
neck
years,
and
neck and neck.
We got some work to do with his accuracy.
All right.
So.
I'm just scared I always get a hook in someone's like eye or their ear or something like that when I'm throwing that thing around.
So
luckily it hadn't happened just yet.
Good food. We had our family reunion, had good food and good time, but that was the best part of my weekend, was just fishing with the kids. So, all right, that's your Morning Rush daily question. What was the best part of your 4th of July holiday break? You can call or text us 877-377-6963.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
Yeah, I don't know the last time that I've actually brought up WWE on this program, but there was something important that happened this weekend. John Cena, after 20 years, is retiring in this 25 season.
It's not going to end at WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be my last WrestleMania. But hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we're going straight through from January to December. We're going to try to do a long list of dates. I think right now, tentatively, it's hovering in the mid-30s to 40s, because I'm still going to try to juggle a lot of stuff that's going on. And that'll be the end of my in-ring competition.
So he announces that in Toronto. He gets booed by the fans because they're, I guess, sad that he's going. This is something our old friend SmackDown loved to watch. This was something that was appointment television for him. Every once in a while, it's been on my house. But when I think of John Cena, I don't think about WWE necessarily or the movies he's been in. The best prank call I've ever heard was not Craig O'Neill's prank call to the Texas athletics director, whoever he talked to back in the day, which was awesome. It was epic. Have you guys heard the prank call? John Cena, have you heard this before?
Can't say that I'm plugged into that world.
We're not gonna listen to the whole thing, but this is one of the best radio bits that I've ever heard. Take a listen.
It's this week's phone scam. Check it out.
Hello?
I have just one question for you. Are you ready?
Am I ready for what? Who's this?
Are you ready for this Sunday night when WWE champ John Cena defends his title in the WWE Super Slam? Right now, you can order this awesome pay-per-view event for just $59.99.
I'm sorry, no, there is not any chance in hell that we're ever going to have wrestling in this house again. But thank you, but no. Have a good day. Hello?
And goodbye to anyone standing in John Cena's way. He takes on 6 men in a steel cage shoots and ladders match at WWE Super Slam. Order now and save $10 with a low price of just $49.99.
Sir, you guys just called me, and as I mentioned before, we're not ordering this, so please stop calling my house. Thank you and goodbye.
Again? We're going again?
Just wait.
Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Champ?
Who?
Champ? Is Champ there?
Who is Champ?
That question will be answered this Sunday night. WWE Super Slam.
Sir,
Taking on
please quit
Sheamus,
calling my house.
The Undertaker,
Quit calling me.
CM Punk, and even Triple H and the Big Show in a spit-swapping makeup match.
Holy
WWE Super
Listen,
Slam.
hello? Hello? Can you stop screaming in your little sirens and whatever that is? Can you knock it off for 5 seconds? Not interested. Stop calling my fucking house.
Oh, again?
We'll do one more.
Hello?
I'm watching you.
Excuse me?
That's exactly what The Undertaker told John Cena.
So that goes on for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then
please, let's listen to all.
And then the lady finds out that she's on air, and it is hysterical. She ends up winning some money of some sort, but that is one of the funniest radio prank calls that I've ever heard with John Cena. That's again, he's WWE. You think about the movies he's been in, but that is where I always think about with John Cena, the prank call. And I love Craig O'Neal's prank call back in the day with Texas, but that one's my absolute favorite.
So are you watching WrestleMania?
It doesn't do it for me.
How much does that cost? I don't know. When I turned 14, I quit watching.
Well, if it was
wrestling.
this was years ago.
But I'm in the minority. I get that.
It was $59.95.
Well,
this was years ago. So what is it going to be, like 150,
I don't know.
100 and something now? Chuck, is that something you entertain yourself with every once in a while?
No, I haven't ever done that.
They get good ratings.
I've blown money on a lot of things, but never on WrestleMania pay-per-view.
I mean, when I was 12, the Von Erichs were the largest thing in the world to me. But, then I discovered girls and golf and other things.
Other activities
I
and
moved
stuff.
on, yeah.
Well, that is, again, John Cena, after the 25 season, is retired. I always think about, like, Dr. J, he had the rocking chair, and they always brought him out to each court before. That's, like, the retirement that I think about when it comes to just, like, a sports figure. Sounds like that they're going to cork something up for him, but 20 years comes to a close next year, 2025.
It's hard to believe. Oh, the memories.
Yeah. The records that will never be broken.
The chairs and everything else that goes with it. But yeah, saw that from this weekend for the WWE fans out there. All right, we got our hog update to get to in just a bit.
What was your favorite John Cena match? I got to hear it. Chuck, what was your favorite whatever?
Well, there were so many. There were
it's
so
hard
many.
to pick one.
Apparently,
so many.
John from DeQueen says you get it free with Peacock. Apparently, that comes with it. I don't know what you have to pay her with Peacock. I know 2.5 mids on Peacock. That's what and I guess you
Don't
got
they have a ball game on occasion?
Yeah.
On Peacock?
Yeah.
Don't they do that?
I think, Chuck, I think they paid for, I think Peacock is one of the
Notre Dame on there, too?
That paid for that.
Yeah.
And that sounds right. Yeah, the Notre Dame.
It's an NBC deal, obviously.
Yeah. It doesn't, it's one of the other services you have to do. That was the other thing about moving. I lost a lot of the services that I've had because my roommate paid for all the streaming stuff.
Oh.
And now I'm in a new house and there's like nothing to watch because it's all his stuff.
You didn't take the logins with you?
No, because they nixed that now. They're having to do that where you can't do that anymore.
Well, Chuck, one of the things he's going to have to get.
It's a tough world.
Chuck, one of the things he's going to have to get is a heating and air guy. Because I have you had those service, Ty? You had anyone out to look at
Not
them?
yet, but my dad recommended me do that. That was one of the things he called me and talked about yesterday.
Chuck's got a hookup for you.
Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. They're the ones to go with. And, it is one of those weeks where it sounds like it may cool down a little bit this week. Maybe your AC won't work quite so hard, but let's face it. This time of year, if you're a Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric customer, this is the time of year when you're really glad you are. Because their plant protection program has kept things humming year-round. And now that we are into the hottest part of the year, you've got the peace of mind of knowing that it's all going to work okay. And that is a big part of peace of mind in the summer. Because there's nothing worse in the middle of summer than your air conditioner going out. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric's been around a long time. If you're in Northwest Arkansas, you've heard about them for 50 years if you've been around that long. If you're able to listen to me now, though, they're expanding into your area if they are not already there. What you're going to find is what the rest of us have known for a long, long time, is there's nobody more reliable in the business. There's nobody that keeps you up and running the way they do at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. They're Arkansas-owned, they're Arkansas-operated, and you can schedule your appointment at gopascal.com.
Got the worst part of summer happened this weekend for me. The first big electric bill.
How much was it?
$543.
My house is on 74. I've never capped it that high in my life. But
well, Tommy's got 10,000 feet to cool.
Well,
10,000 square feet to cool. Yeah, everybody else is, we don't have as much to cool as Tommy does.
I am a cheap bud. My house will stay at 74 when I leave for Tampa and Dallas this week. That sucker's going up to 80 while I'm gone, and keeping it that way until it comes
Turn
back.
off the lights.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights when you leave.
Yeah.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
No, it
around
does not.
I'm starting to sound like my dad.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of summer is the electric bill.
Agent $543.
You know what's worse than the electric bill, though?
That's pocket change to Tommy.
You know what's worse than the high electric bill? Sweating. Sitting in your own living room, sweating.
It's horrible. All right, we got our Hog update coming up. A couple guys that we referenced in Summer League earlier, a couple guys in that. And I'm going to answer the question who the most important man in Arkansas athletics is. It's not anyone that works in the athletic department. It's not anyone that works for Arkansas.
Is he on this show?
No,
Is
it's
it
not
you?
that. It's
Is it Big
Walmart.
C?
No, it's
No.
Walmart CEO, Doug McMillan. We're going to talk about him when we get to hour 3. He is the most. I am not kidding. He is the most important person for Arkansas athletics in the next 5 to 10 years.
All right, let's talk about it.
Dead ass on that.
All right.
All right. Hey, Gaston's White River Resort. I know some of you out there listening stopped in at Gaston's, hung out this weekend. It is a great place for summer. One of the things about Gaston's, I was by there the other day, is that new pool complex they built just 2 summers ago is perfect for the whole family. If you're like a lot of my family, and some of you got kids of different ages and different attention spans, and their ability to maybe fish all day isn't going to quite be there. There's always something great for the kids to do at Gaston's. The nature trails, you can see the birds and stuff as you come in there, but the pool is such a centerpiece of summer at Gaston's. Check it out with your private cabin or lodge, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like, real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir! Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Heston Kjerstad continue to have success for the Baltimore Orioles, including a home run this weekend.
Goes, and that is clocked to center field. Ledane on his horse, going back, track, ball, darn! Heston Kjerstad with a frozen rope, slicing over the wall to left center field. Give Kjerstad a weaver, and the 3-run shot means a 4-run first inning.
Chuck, that was the radio call earlier. We played the TV call at the open. They called him the Blonde Bomber, I guess it was. We've heard the Silent J, the Blonde Bomber. So this is a guy that's starting to accumulate nicknames early on in his career in Baltimore.
Well, they're paying attention. Their guys pretty colorful, but I guess their radio and TV guys are pretty colorful there.
So
they do a good job.
He's hitting over 300 right now. The Baltimore Orioles are first place in the AL East and one of the best teams in baseball. Hopefully he is a part of their potential playoff run that you expect them to have moving forward. So that's the current in-season for Pro Hogs. In terms of guys that are playing right now, but the season hasn't started yet, some good performances for Nick Smith and Mason Jones, former Razorbacks. Mason had himself quite a game this weekend.
Pretty good. Mason Jones.
So there's a bunch of teams playing in the California Classic right now, including the Sacramento Kings, which Mason Jones is on the Summer League team. Guys, he had 19 points, bunch of threes, 5 assists. Nick Smith had 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. I did not get a chance to watch Summer League games in California this weekend, but they'll play in Salt Lake City starting today and then Vegas this week. So you've got those two guys. You've got Jimmy Witt, who's on the Golden State Warriors, and then Ricky Council on the Philadelphia 76ers. So a couple of Razorbacks in action this week.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I got to be honest. I have not caught the NBA Summer League buzz the way some people have. But, you think about a player like Witt, who's trying to make a roster, a player like Mason Jones, who's trying to make a roster. Jones probably, he's been at that level before. Council, I don't know where he fits into the 76ers' future plans. I'm going to be honest there. But here's the thing. You want to keep a job. That's what they're trying to do, is either get a job or keep a job. And so whether it's with the team that they're playing for in the Summer League, now we know Nick Smith's going to stay where he is. We know that. But, some of these other guys, it's about finding work. And so that's why the summer's important.
Yeah, you mentioned Council. So the 76ers just signed that big Paul George contract, and they brought over one of the Martin twins, too. I forget if it's Cody or Caleb, but they all play the same position as Ricky. So I would think that he might have an Isaiah Joe route where he might find himself on another team before he gets consistent playing time moving forward. Did see the troubling news, guys. Lawson Blake announced publicly that he has ruptured his Achilles. It's a 9 to 12, sometimes longer recovery process. We hate that for Lawson, who's a Fayetteville kid, Razorback. He wasn't going to play this year much as a walk-on to begin with, but it is kind of a bummer for him. Saw that. That's unfortunate.
Well, you hate to see that. It's like I said, a long-term recovery, and we know with how Calipari's putting this roster together, time was going to be limited, or even if a spot was available, Chuck.
Yeah, the thing about Lawson's got a bright future ahead of him. I think he's it's going to be Dr. Lawson Blake before too much longer, or at least at some point. And he'll have, I'm certain he's going to have access to all the rehab stuff, all the things that come with being part of the team. And so I hope he's able to play again. I don't really know what his status is in that regard, but Lawson's going to be fine.
Couple baseball notes for you this morning. It looks like Dave Van Horn's been in the Cape a little bit. Wouldn't be a bad place to go for the 4th of July. Vaheva Aloy, I think, is leading the Cape Cod League in home runs, and Ryder Helfrich's doing pretty good as well. Whenever I think about the Cape Cod League, guys, I think of the movie Summer Catch. You guys ever seen that one with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Been a while, but
been
yes.
a while. That's what I always think about.
Did not see that. No, didn't see it.
Yeah,
That was a summer league when it was really the only summer league, and or at least of any consequence. And so they've been doing it there a long time.
Arkansas baseball also got a commitment from Elliot Peterson. Southeastern Community College was the #1 guy in JUCO. I guess hit over 500 this past season. So really productive player that Arkansas just got a commitment. Also saw that one of their Arkansas pitchers, Adam Hatchman, and then Will Edmondson have been there the portal as well. Some baseball news. And then football-wise, you got a commitment from Mississippi kicker Evan Noel, who's a top 10 kicker, I think. And then saw that Landon Jackson was named a second-team All-American by the Walter Camp Foundation. Chuck, I saw that the Arkansas football put out a video montage of Landon this weekend. You, of course, were included a lot of it, but and it seems like that Landon's not just going to get the attention paid to him here, but nationally as well. He seems to be a guy that's going to be talked about not just at media days next week, which I expect his attendance, but he's going to be a guy that a lot of national people are expecting. And Arkansas, for those that don't know, haven't had a first-round defensive player picked in quite some time. I think it's I think you got to go back 10-plus years, and it might even be the second round. Landon might have a chance to do that this year.
Very possible. He's had the scouts' attention for a while, and he's. I would expect him to be a very high draft pick. Whether he'll be a first-round pick, I don't know. But I do know that when you look at him now, as opposed to what he looked like when he walked on the campus. He's a totally different beast now, and the operative word there is beast. I mean, he's a big dude, so he's going to get to play in the pros.
Yeah, 6'7", kid that, again, was coming off that ACL injury when he transferred in from LSU, and now full healthy. And I think Alabama's left tackle is still having nightmares about what happened in Tuscaloosa this past year. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, we got hour number 3 coming up in just a bit. Again, I want to talk about who I think the most important person is in Arkansas athletics moving forward, especially for football, which is Doug McMillon.
The most important.
I really...
Above all others.
And I'm going to tell you why. This is a good radio tease. I'm going to tell you why coming up. He was at practice with Cal and the guys this weekend, and I guess going through some stuff. But I'm just
we're getting to the bottom of it. You saw that picture on Twitter, and it's lit the spark that has turned into the fire of your hot take.
There it is. You set it up perfectly.
The most important
the most important. He is the key, the conduit, and the connection to the Walton family and an Arkansas grad.
I can't wait.
Doug, I know you're listening. Stay tuned, buddy.
Appointment listening 5 minutes from now.
Hot Take Monday continues, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Find them online at wheelsrv.net. We're also brought to you by The Fence Man. Hey, if 4th of July weather brought maybe some... out in the yard, looking at your fence, that thing is old and tired, maybe needs a new look. The Fence Man can provide that for you. Better security, more curb appeal. Maybe you're buying a new home like Ty just did over the holiday weekend, and you need a new fence for the backyard. The Fence Man can take care of that. Industrial jobs, commercial jobs, residential jobs. No job is too big or small for the Fence Man. 782-3936, The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number 1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number 1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is The Morning Rush. The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your number one golf shop for over 30 years.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season. And with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are expected to see a chance of some showers, some scattered thunderstorms. Our high temperatures today in the low to mid 80s. See an increasing chance of very heavy rain as the tropical moisture from Beryl starts to move in. Our overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 52 days.
Kirstad with a drive, deep left center, and that ball's gone. Heston hammers one the other way. The Blonde Bomber has a 3-run shot. 2 home runs for the Orioles in the first inning as Santander and Kirstad make it 4-0 right from the start.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush here on a Hot Take Monday. Got a scalding one for you coming up. The key to Arkansas's football and athletic success moving forward if you want to get to new heights, particularly with the pigskin. It's all Walmart CEO Doug McMillon. I'm going to explain why coming up. I think you're going to find it interesting. I don't ask you to lend me your ears
this
often.
Ought to be good. This ought to be good.
I think it is. I hope so. Or it could just, flounder and suck. But either way, we'll talk about it.
Let me hurry and tell you about Wheels RV, because I know we all want to get to this. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They bring you these scorching hot takes here on Monday. Every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty. We're talking Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley, including the Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheel. See Chris and Lee J, the entire crew at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's. Sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
You know, I have to give Doug props because he brought Jessica Alba to her first Razorback basketball game this past season. Doug was in attendance for an Arkansas practice earlier this week, and I found it interesting. Basketball practice, I should specify. But I found it interesting to hear him talk and just kind of read up a little bit on him, his backstory and everything. But we'll take an inside scoop to just the conversation he had with Cal and some of Cal's players as they get ready for their season.
I've been a Razorback fan for a long time. I graduated from here in 1989. I was there for the 94 championship through that season, and we could not be more excited that you're here, that Coach Cal is here, and I think great things are going to happen. Go get them, man. People could not be more excited about what's happening here and that you all are here. Thank you.
So Cal's going to have people from all over, not just Arkansas, but the United States. Bigwigs. This is typical of a Cal practice. You can ask any Kentucky media member, any Kentucky player. At any given time, there will be 30 or 40. When a guy of the stature of Doug McMillon comes in attendance, it's a big deal. I should say it's not necessarily a big deal for the basketball program because I think you're going to have more of that. But to me,
agree with that.
You've talked about opening the Walmart key. This is the key to the Walton family. People just assume that they're all Arkansas grads. They're not. I mean, everyone just sees the Bud Wall and they see the Walmart sign of the football stadium and they say, oh, they're donating out the wazoo. They have contributed mightily to all over Northwest Arkansas. But
they've given a lot of money to the university.
In the university, and you think about the business school, there are buildings across that campus outside of just Bud Walton Arena that people think about and they've contributed to. Just a little backstory on Doug McMillon. As you heard there, he's an Arkansas grad as of 1989. This is the guy that started basically loading trucks on an hourly wage with Walmart. He's been the CEO since 2014. But the key there, you just heard, this is a Razorback fan, and this is a guy that went to school here. He is the connection. He is the bridge for Arkansas to get the Waltons to invest in the NIL and the football program. They're not going to do it on their own. They're not going to go about it. They're not just going to all of a sudden be convinced by Hunter Yurchek or anyone else. They have trusted this guy for a decade with the biggest job in their company. He is an Arkansas grad. He is an Arkansas fan. If there is a connection to get Arkansas NIL investment from the Walton family, it is none other than Doug McMillon. He can convince them that as a state overall, the state's better. Your company will flourish more in the state of Arkansas when the football program is better. We've talked about where Arkansas is on an uneven playing field right now, football-wise. Doesn't feel that way in basketball. Doesn't feel that way in baseball. But unfortunately, it's that way in football. And I think some of these in-state kids, not only are they leaving because you're not winning, and again, part of this, you have to start winning football games, which hopefully they do this year. But from an investment standpoint, Chuck, I think he's the guy that can get the Waltons to, if they were going to do this, he's the only guy that can convince them to. Not anyone else in Arkansas's athletic department.
Well, I agree that Doug McMillon is certainly an asset for all of us, whether you're a Razorback fan or not. I think Doug McMillon is as top shelf as it gets. I don't know about his relationship in terms of the Waltons and athletic giving and things of that nature. I just don't know enough about that to really make a comment on. It's interesting to hear what you say, and I agree that Doug McMillon's a pretty important guy. But what their relationship is in that regard, I just don't know.
Well, this is no disrespect to any other big-time donor like the Tyson family, like John Tyson in particular, like Brian and Mandy Hunt, like Warren Stevens. Those are kind of the names that pop in. The Lindsay family, the list goes. I mean, there are huge people that have contributed mightily to Arkansas athletics over the years. But I think there's still a major part of the equation that is missing with particularly Arkansas football, and it is the Walton family. And I just think that he would be the one guy that could convince that family that this investment will give them return. Now, the numbers, the facts, and figures.
What makes you believe he has their ear?
Well, let me throw one thing out. Here. Doug McMillan's job as the CEO of Walmart, as it pertains to the Walton family, is not to convince them to give money to Arkansas athletics. Yeah. It's to run the best company in the world. Mm-hmm. That's his job. And I'm sure that's an all-consuming job. I have no doubt that is an all-consuming job. So here's the thing that I think that the evidence shows is that people give to what interests them. People give to what interests them. And I think it's important to point out that all the individuals, you mentioned Tyson and Stevens and some others, Warren Stevens, these are publicly traded companies. It's not as though they can just, unilaterally make a decision that this is what we're going to do. In other words, it's their money. Mm-hmm. It's their individual money. Mm-hmm. I hear you, and there's the, there's the thought all across America that Walmart just funds whatever anybody around here needs, and they are great corporate friends and neighbors, and they have funded a lot of the things that we need around here. But they may or may not be passionate about Razorback athletics. And frankly, and I have enormous respect for Doug McMillan. I'm not going to judge him on whether or not he's able to talk the Waltons into giving the Razorbacks a bunch of money. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but as I say, I don't know enough about their relationship in that regard. But I do think that my observation over the years has been people give money to what interests them. Mm-hmm. And if they're not giving money to what you'd like them to give to, well, maybe that's not what they're most interested in.
And yes, you're exactly right. When I look at other football programs and I read up on certain things, or I talk to different media members and I ask who's kind of the big dog that's doing this. Like I think about Phil Knight in Oregon. Phil Knight's 86. Rick Neuheisel was on Sirius this weekend saying that Phil's doing whatever he can from a money standpoint to help Oregon and Dan Lanning win a national championship. And you go across the board, there's other just big-time donors.
But he was an athlete at Oregon.
Correct. Yeah.
And I mean, he's Oregon to the core.
And football very much interests him, as it has for a number of different years. I just don't think, in my opinion, that Arkansas can afford to wait on the revenue sharing to come down the pipe, because the NIL program doesn't just need to change, it's going to change. Whether it's in 2025 or in the following year, it's coming quickly, I think. I think they're going to come to a decision, and it's going to pan out. But I don't know if Arkansas, with these two classes where you have a really stacked 25 class and then you have a 26, we've talked about how important winning is to get some of these players. Well, monies is still an issue, too, with lack of, what's the word? When you're in state and just why am I blanking on the word I'm trying to think of? When you're in state and the allegiance, that's the word I'm thinking of. There's not as much allegiance as there used to be, so you supplement that, especially with the program that hasn't had the best last 2 years, with money. And Arkansas can ill afford to miss on these next two classes, which in my opinion, they might not pan out to be that way, but you have two generational type football players in these next two classes. So that's why it's so important not only to win, but get some additional funds here. And that's just the one I think of when I'm looking at when I'm listening to this video, I'm watching him this weekend, and I'm just kind of formulating what we're going to talk about this morning. I just feel like he is as important a figure as there is outside of Arkansas athletics in the next 5 to 10 years for Arkansas athletics.
Well, that picture certainly raised my eyebrows and caught my attention, but I would imagine if you looked around in the corporate world and maybe not so much in athletics, Doug McMillon speaks to a lot of groups, a lot of teams in different walks of life because well, he's the CEO of Walmart. I mean, what he says carries a lot of weight. Your premise and what you're thinking is great. I don't know that he has the Walton families here. There's only one Walton on the board of directors anymore at Walmart. Greg Penner's on there, the owner of the Denver Broncos, and there's some connections to that family. But the idea that he's walking into the office every day and sees all the Walton family, that's not how it works up there in Bentonville.
Guys, I can just tell you in Northwest Arkansas, there is ample evidence that the Walton family is interested in many, many, many things.
Yeah.
Changing the world in many respects. And I will tell you in Northwest Arkansas, in their little corner of the world, they have changed it. They have changed their little corner of the world. Very few people can say that. But, guys, there's just not evidence out there beyond Bud Walton's donation. There's not evidence out there that Razorback athletics are of primary interest to them. There's just not. And I'm not knocking them. Everybody, as I said, they give to what interests them. Now, I think there are individuals within that organization. There are individuals within that organization now that are passionate about Razorback athletics. And they give money to the athletic program. And some of them may very well earmark it towards specific programs. I would not be at all surprised if that's improved, say, for basketball since John Calipari was hired. I would imagine it's increased with them and everybody else as well. So there's I hear you, and I think your sentiments are noble, and you want what's best for the Razorbacks in terms of their success. But, you can't begrudge somebody for not giving, when they're giving away their money, you can't begrudge them for not giving it to you.
Yeah. No, I completely.
That's basically what we're saying right here.
I'm just,
and we got to get beyond that.
Where I'm coming from is Tommy's talked about the how do you get the Walton mode. I'm just showing you the pathway to get it. Well, or at least my opinion on the pathway to get it.
I don't know that, and I'm just going to be honest, I don't know that any of us understand that relationship well enough, whether he has their ear. There's a new generation of Waltons. There's a new generation of Waltons, and the things that interest them may not be the things that interested the previous generation, and that's no slight on anybody.
Yeah. It's never a bad idea for any organization to have a relationship with the CEO of the biggest company in the world. And
they do.
And they do. And him being at practice is a symbol of that. What you would, in a perfect world, blank canvas, you can draw it up the way you want. Guys in Doug McMillon's situation have put themselves in a high-earning category. They have friends in a high-earning category, all right? Is that a polite way of saying it, that they all make a lot of money? What you need is someone like a Doug McMillon or someone that has that passion to rally his friends and his connections that have a similar passion with Razorback sports. And to me, if I was in Hunter Yurachek's position, and I'm sure they've thought of this, I'm not the smartest guy in the room ever, but if you could get a group of people together to endow a fund that Stevens Inc. maybe manages, that could kick off the money you need, several $200 to $300 million properly managed could kick off an annual amount that you need. Now that's pie in the sky and dreaming and hoping you could get a group of similar minded people, similar thought processes to come together. But that's where someone with the stroke of a Doug McMillon can really help you, because he rubs elbows with a different crowd than we even understand.
Not just Jessica Alba.
And people that could, over a course of 2 to 3 years, could donate $10 million a year for 2 to 3 years and be able to do that. And more importantly, not just able, but willing. And that's what you've got to find. We've got a deep roster of people that have done very well for themselves in this state. But Chuck's right. They've made a real impact in Northwest Arkansas. All you got to do is look at Crystal Bridges. Look at this new campus going up in Bentonville for Walmart's headquarters. Look at the bike trail system. They've spent a lot of money helping build. So what Doug McMillan has a passion for is Razorback athletics. Maybe he's rubbing elbows with some people that could help fund an endowment that would help you long term.
All the things that you guys have said are not necessarily off base, but he's the CEO of Walmart. He's not the key that unlocks success for Razorback football. His job is not to do that. To put the onus on him to do that's just a little out of bounds in my perspective, or from my perspective. His job is to be the CEO of Walmart. Based on everything I see, he's pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not putting that onus on him. I just think it's a great connection to have, and if it can play into something, the photo was noteworthy from the weekend. But I think what we're really saying at the end of the day, basketball, at least here and now and today, has found some support with the Tyson family and some others. Football needs to find its sugar daddy. That's what we got to find, is someone that's willing to make some things happen and make a difference. And right now, the appetite doesn't seem to be there.
Yeah. Arkansas basketball did get another commit, Aiden Kelly from North Christian High School in Mississippi over the weekend. And I saw that they also offered Cortland Muldrow, who's a Springdale kid that's playing at Oak Hill right now. So you got a couple in-state and then also recruiting news. So I guess I think it's one spot remaining for his roster, if I remember that. Maybe it's completely filled, but it's right around there. But we mentioned Lawson Blake's rupturing his Achilles earlier, but basketball is still a big deal right now. And again, we probably need to count down for basketball season as well.
Yeah.
With 50 some odd days from Arkansas football, we probably need to start.
That'll start about the first football loss.
You're probably right. I would say that's pretty accurate on that.
What makes that Oklahoma State game really important.
Yeah. Well, and Oklahoma State, hey, they're going to be among the favorites in the Big 12 based on what I read.
Oklahoma
it's not
State,
like you're going over there and playing chopped liver.
Utah's going to be another one, I think, in that league that's going to be really good.
Yep, the Utes and the Cowboys. I do want to talk about Oklahoma State in just a sec. Mike Gundy needs to do the right thing. The right thing. I'll tell you why.
All right, let me talk to you about Sawyer Sunrooms for just a second. If you've got work planned outside your home, and we say Sawyer Sunrooms, but it involves a lot of other things. Windows, it involves concrete, the decorative concrete, the pavers are real popular. They've got things all the way from that to, the louvered pergolas, which I got to admit was a little bit of a foreign concept to me, but they're on top of it at Sawyer Sunrooms. And this is a company that's done business since 1990, and that's been a long time ago. Buzz Sawyer's our friend, and I know particularly people in the Fort Smith area very familiar with Buzz. If you listen to the Northside Grizzlies, you know about him. Sawyer Sunrooms is a great company to do business with, and if you've got a project plan for the outside of your home, you can take a look at some of the work they've done. Log on to Sawyers-sunrooms.com and check it out. Sawyer Sunrooms. I think you'll like what you see.
So, on the subject of Oklahoma State, saw that Ollie Gordon was booked this weekend on charges of a DUI under 21. They should not suspend him for the South Dakota State game in Week 1. Mike Gundy should do the right thing and suspend him for the Arkansas game in Week 2 in Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's the right thing that Gundy will do, but don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, are kids suspended now for DUIs the way they once were? Depending on where you are, DWIs, DUIs?
I don't know. He's under 21. I don't know if that's more significant.
Well, it changes. The significance is the legal limit.
No, I mean, are they kept out of games?
Yeah.
I think it's
they kept out of games?
I think it's a coach-to-coach thing, right? I don't know if that's...
Well, I'm just asking, generally speaking, does it seem to you like more kids that get DUIs are still being allowed to play?
I think it's about the degree of player. I mean, in some cases, we've seen kids...
How good they are?
Yeah, we've seen kids get kicked off the team.
Get their attention.
I was just curious about what you thought.
Hey, get his attention, Gundy.
Take their NIL. Don't take games away. Take their NIL money away.
No, I don't think that...
Fine them.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably could find a way to do that now. But, yeah, he's probably going to have to suit up for the Arkansas game, unfortunately.
Hey, imagine
I think you better plan on it.
I would say game plan for him.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to tell you about our friends at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. Have you played golf over the weekend, or maybe you're just riding around your neighborhood here in Northwest Arkansas? If you want a great neighborhood cart or golf cart to enjoy the amenities in your subdivision or the golf course that you live nearby, Arkansas Golf and Power Sports can custom build the cart you want. Easy Go's the brand they have, American made. I like it because it doesn't have that parking brake you got to stomp on to set. It just automatically does it with no set parking brake. That's one of the reasons I love my Easy Go, the smooth ride and the custom look they can give you. Check out Arkansas Golf and Power Sports for your Easy Go cart. They can design one just for you. They're in Fayetteville and they're in Little Rock and online at arpowersports.com. See them in Fayetteville, just off the Garland exit on McConnell Avenue. That's Arkansas Golf and Power Sports.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts. Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Locally owned Lumber One
one can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during our long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I don't think anyone understands it until you're in the middle of it. I don't think we understood it. To Texas and Oklahoma, well, maybe. Now, look, I'm not going to take part in a pep rally for either one of these guys. You know, fate's brought them here, and this is kind of how it's worked out. Man, you played that Eyes of Texas earlier, and all that brought back to me was just a bunch of childhood, teenage memories. Now, look, I view it from two different spectrums. You know, from a broadcast perspective, Craig Way at Texas, good as it gets. And I feel the same way about Toby Rowland in Oklahoma. I look forward to working with them. Good guys, good broadcasters. I have a lot of respect for them. But I'm not going to pull for these guys. You know, I'm not going to pull for them. And I don't think very many Arkansans are.
I don't think Coach Pat Jones is either. He's going to join us tomorrow as we start the 7 o'clock hour. Excited to hear his take. I know he's been on radio the past week, and you've had Sooners and Longhorn fans that have probably called in and given him their thoughts on what they think that their teams are going to do this upcoming season. And a week from today, we'll be at SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas.
Hard to believe.
In the heart of it.
Kind of the official, unofficial start of college football season is when it's time for SEC Media Days, and that begins a week from today. Hey, we're brought to you by River City Coatings in Van Buren. If you've got metal items that you don't want to paint and have to deal with long-term, you don't want long-term maintenance, think about powder coating. Powder coating isn't just a layer of paint. It becomes part of the metal and can withstand chemicals, abrasions, the weathering. And when you need your metals powder coated to last, turn to our friends at River City Coatings. You say, well, what would I want to powder coat and not have to mess with? Well, things like patio furniture, rims on your vehicle, your ATV, brake calipers, farm equipment. Pretty much anything that's metal can be powder coated, and you'll never have to worry about paint or maintenance again. Go to rivercitycoatings.com and find out more. That's rivercitycoatings.com. River City Coatings in Van Buren. Again, online at rivercitycoatings.com.
We were talking a little Arkansas basketball earlier. Some Pro Hogs news. Isaiah Joe.
Fires to Joe. Step back three. It drills it.
Just officially, the last week it was reported, he just officially inked his deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder for the 4-year, $48 million. You've got some Arkansas guys that are playing this week in the summer leagues. Nick Smith, Mason Jones, Jimmy Witt, and also Ricky Council as well. Some NBA stuff coming on. Guys, my brother-in-law went to the Vegas Summer League last year, and it is about as like chill as it is. Like you can talk to players and coaches and stuff. It's apparently a really cool event. I know we're kind of always in the midst of media days going on, but apparently it's pretty pretty nonchalant and chill to just be able to talk with guys leading up. It's not as, and you're not dealing with all the players that are going to be on teams, but it's a pretty cool event.
Well, you know I love a chill event, Ty. But you know how I do love that. But it is popular, and I'm certain that in a city like Vegas, and you know with the swag the NBA comes with, it's a perfect match.
Well, and Vegas is obviously a summer destination, particularly I think for a target demo with the NBA. So why not go gamble, play some golf, and while I'm here, I'll go see the future stars of my team, perhaps, or my rival. So I think it's one of several things you can do while on vacation, or take a weekend trip or 4 or 5 day trip. 4 days is a long time in Vegas, but while you're there, take in an NBA game.
Yeah,
I don't think it's just NBA. I don't think it's just Las Vegas people coming out to watch this.
Yeah, we're have to wait a little bit till we see some Arkansas players actually get going. I did see, again, LeBron James signs that 2 years, $104 million deal. Saw Bronny got is dealing with knee soreness after his first game.
Well, he did score 4 points. That will wear you out.
2 for 9. Yeah. And they're just doing a disservice to that kid. But if you're the Lakers right now, I mean, you miss on DeMar DeRozan, who's an LA kid. He goes to the Kings instead, which actually have a pretty good roster. The Lakers are just a shell of themselves right now because they have let LeBron dictate what the franchise does. And at this point, they just don't care about winning. They care about ticket sales, and they care about notoriety, and it's gone by the wayside. Jerry Buss would be ashamed where this franchise is right now.
Okay.
Nothing?
Well, I don't know if he's ashamed or not.
I don't know or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your take. I haven't really thought about it.
No response to that at all?
Ashamed?
None.
Well,
none.
I'd still trade. I'd still love to be the owner of the
head
Lakers.
Of the Lakers.
Yeah.
I saw.
They're not. You're not. Hey, it's a better title than owner. It's governor in that league. You're the governor
of the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, a little different situation on that.
So, hey, it's grilling season. I don't know about you guys, but this time of the year makes you want to fire up the charcoal, and you got to have a great steak. The place to get that is our buddy Joey Clampett down at Clampett's Country Meat Market. If you haven't checked out their new website, ClampettsCountryKitchen.com, check out the meat market page. And I mean, if you want an 1.5 inch thick bone-in ribeye, they can do it. If you need certain cuts of meat, or you want it ground a certain way, one of the things Brett Good taught me back in the day is you grind your bacon and you grind your hamburger meat. You make a 50-50 patty out of it, and it's got an awesome flavor. They can do all kinds of great things for you in their meat market. But if you want a big old thick bone-in ribeye, or you want a nice New York strip cut, they can do that for you, and you can check out their full meat market. It's all online. Plus, check out some of that great award-winning beef jerky. I love it. Don't go anywhere without it. It's all at Clampett's Country Kitchen, Highway 7, between Hot Springs Village and Jesseville.
I do want to mention this real quick. K-Dog Kendall Apple, who's a noted Arkansas baseball fan, he wears the kind of alien-looking sunglasses out in the outfield. If you don't know his name, he's a Russellville guy, works for a lumber company there. Guys, he's in the hospital right now. I know a lot of Razorback fans have reached out because of that. I think he's in a pretty bad spot, so just want to mention him right now, because I know we've talked about Bobby Schmidl, Hog Noxious, and some other big-time Razorback fans. He's about as big as it gets when Arkansas baseball.
All right, we'll keep him in our thoughts. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. See our buddy Lee J or Chris. Get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell, and they only sell the best. Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley's, and an award-winning service department that includes a paint and body shop as well. That's Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Got our SEC update coming up. Paul Skeens named to the All-Stars. Talk about him next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guns.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could beat lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text LIKE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim, with an irresistible taste and...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18-month same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices.
Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
All right, your SEC update. Paul Skeens named an all-star. Here's his manager telling him the news in the locker room.
And for his first time, Paul Gates.
Oh, this is cool. And I'm just grateful for all you guys. Since the first day I've been here, I've been a part of the team. So couldn't have done it without you guys.
It's very quick. Not a lot there. Him and I forget the other guy from the Pirates that were named to the All-Star team. But Chuck made the point earlier, Big C, and I think he's right. Might start this guy. And you think about where baseball is right now. We made the comparison like from a talking standpoint. Caitlin Clark and MLB pretty up there. I know if you're a diehard Cardinals fan, you're a diehard Rangers fan, Royals fan, you're trying to watch and listen to every game, but it has become more of a regional sport, not as much national. It would be smart for baseball, knowing this kid's prowess, throwing the baseball, and how good he can be moving forward. It might be the way to go in this upcoming All-Star game.
Yeah, Paul Skeens, man, I'm telling you, he's not a typical rookie coming in and pitching like that, like he has, and then to make an All-Star game in your first season, that's pretty incredible. But he definitely deserves it, and makes me all the more excited to see Hagen Smith. I don't know that they're at the same level, but they're pretty close.
SEC Media Days a week from today. Sam Pittman, if I had a ballpark, Landon Jackson is shooing these to bring. They brought him last year, and Landon's going to be preseason All-SEC, All-American in some cases, like the Walter Camp. I do want to know who coach is going to bring for the other two spots. Are you going to bring Taylor Green, the starting quarterback? Or are you going to bring maybe a veteran defensive lineman, a guy like Joshua Braun on the offensive line? Maybe an older guy like Andrew Armstrong, who's in his second year with the program. Something to think about. I know I've read a lot of articles recently kind of speculating who they're going to bring, but Landon's going to be the face. I know the quarterback oftentimes is the face, but from a national standpoint, he's going to get the guy that gets the attention because he's the most notable player. Probably has the highest ceiling of any Razorback to be drafted this year. I hope Landon has a phenomenal year. The thing is, Landon needs help. If you watch some of these games last season, he'll get double teamed, he'll get chipped, and that's to be expected when you get scouted and you have the talent that Landon does. But there's other guys that have to step up. Nico Davier, I know that June Kai, or however you say his name, the FCS kid that led the FCS in sacks last year. There's a few others that you would like to take a step forward. He had a pretty deep defensive line this past year. It was honestly really good, and that was the strength of Arkansas's football team. One of them, at least. I know it's hard to say it with the 4-8 roster, but Landon will be there. Sam Pittman will be there. Don't know who else they're going to bring. I'm curious about that. Other SEC news. Apparently, Texas has flipped like 6 A&M commits in baseball. We're talking about just the animosity between Jim Schlossnagle and the Texas A&M fan base. When we were at the Social Birdie last week in Branson, which was awesome, by the way. Appreciate Trey and Matt and the guys having us out there. Matt is a noted Aggie, and there's no love lost from him or anyone else with Jim Schlossnagle. So that rivalry moving forward is only heightened, it's only intensified, and it's going to continue in that direction as those two schools continue to recruit against one another. Not just when we think about football, but baseball is definitely added to it. All right, that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Burn Pools and Spas, where you can splash into summer right now with the red, white, and blue sale. While 4th of July is come and gone, the 4th of July, or the red, white, and blue sale is still at Burn Pools and Spas. When you buy an in-ground pool, you're going to get a heater absolutely free. You can save up to $1,500 on Doughboy above-ground pools or a semi-in-ground pool that comes with monthly payments of just $200. If you go the endless pool route, you're going to get free workout accessories worth $700. Now, three great locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and their newest location in Greenland. We build more than just pools. We build long-term relationships. Check us out online at burnpools.com. I want to come back to one of the things we've talked about a little bit this morning. We had Richard Davenport out on in hour number 2 days early because of the commitment news. Again, the good news. Tavian Wallace commits to Arkansas. This is a top 40 nationally kid in the class of 2025. It's one of the best commitments you've ever gotten. Now, he hasn't signed with Arkansas yet, But he has a relationship with Travis Williams, which was one of the big reasons he decided to commit to the Arkansas football program. That's good. The bad news, Elston and Robinson, 2 young men from Robinson, have decided that Kansas State for Elston, and then for Omarion, that Sooner Country, Norman, is the place that he wants to play college ball. Y'all, we've talked about this earlier. Oklahoma is going to be more of an issue for your football moving forward recruiting than Texas will. I truly believe that. And I think about a guy that is not too far off from me and Trey Norwood, who ends up going to Norman. Arkansas didn't recruit him enough. That blows my mind that you let that kid get out of the state. I think about Keith Jackson. Tommy brought one up earlier that I was unfamiliar with. Something Hudson. I know that a lot of you guys listening right now probably know who I'm talking about. But that was one of the names that Tommy brought up earlier that I'm not as Mark Hudson, that I'm not as familiar with. There's guys here and there that you plucked out of Oklahoma that have been beneficial. The most notable guy to me is Felix Jones. There's probably others, but that is going to be an issue moving forward. And for Sam Pittman and the staff, I go back, I cite a great piece written by Andrew Hutchinson, once again, Best of Arkansas Sports, him talking about that 4 of the last 6 guys, I say 4 of the last 6, 4 of the top 6 guys in this class are currently committed elsewhere. That's not good. And mentioned Marcus Wimberly as well earlier in the program. He's the box side, also along with Robinson, is currently committed to Oklahoma.
Keon Hatcher's another one we got out of Oklahoma that was really good.
Yeah, Keon in last decade did some good things at wide receiver for Arkansas. But you have a chance to hopefully flip some of these kids, but you have to win. I cannot tell you how important winning is. I mentioned the idea of maybe Doug McMillan being the conduit, being the key, being the connection to the Walton family, and maybe some football NIL money. I mean, you still got to win football games. Guys don't want to play on losing teams. They don't. They don't want to be laughed at or mocked at. Why are you going to that school? Why are you going to Arkansas? And unfortunately, this last season did not do the Razorbacks any favors in terms of recruiting. You haven't had 3 of your 3 top in-state players leave the state since 2007, when you had a class featuring Cody Burns, Lee Zimba, and Broderick Green. Now, Broderick went out to USC and came back to Fayetteville, but Lee and Cody ended up helping Auburn win a national championship. That's not to say if they were on the team that Arkansas would have won, but Lee was an All-American, and Cody was a huge, huge glue guy on that team in 2010. And hopefully these glue guys that we're talking about, that might not be just the most notable, most coveted coming out of high school, but they choose Arkansas. Right now, Arkansas does not have a great foothold on the current in-state commits, like Kern, mentioned Carius Kern earlier, the Marion kid. That Anderson kid is going up north. He's going to Notre Dame and South Bend. You'd like to flip some of those guys. The Razorbacks have only gotten 8 commitments in the last 2 years from in-state kids. 5 last year, 3 the year before, if I remember that right. So it's not great. You've got to flip that around. You've got to change it. You've got to change that. Walker White, best in-state recruit. Cordy Crutchfield. One goes to Auburn, one goes to Missouri. It's bad enough you're letting these kids out of the state. It's worse when you're having to play them, potentially. Now, I know Courtney and Walker probably not going to play a lot this year for the Auburn Tigers, but years to come, you might have to deal with them. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to deal with them. Think about Drake Lindsey. Didn't really get much of a look till late. He's now going to play at Minnesota. That's one that you would love to have for an in-state, the legacy aspect with his dad, his uncle, of course, his grandpa. In-state wise, a kid, again, he doesn't look like, when you look at his highlights and you look at his film and stuff, it's not exactly, oh my gosh, this kid can play out of his mind. But you've got to get back to what you did in 2021, where 13 of the top 16 players decided that Arkansas was going to be their home. What did that follow? A 9-win season. So in this upcoming class, which features a quarterback that is going to be coveted across the country, he's gotten scholarships all over the place, you've got to find a way to land this kid in Kane Archer, who, by the way, source told me Tyler Wilson got a chance to throw with him a little bit. And Tyler had about as good of things to say about him as there is. We know Tyler could sling a little bit. A former Morning Rush co-host and a guy that knew a little thing or two about college football, not just the football game in high school where he had a lot of success as a Greenwood Bulldog, but also at the next level. And Kane has managed to recruit. Here's the thing about Archer. and everyone needs to be aware of this. Kane has already recruited like 3 or 4 kids to play at Greenwood. That team's going to be a wagon this year. They'll run through 6A like it's a junior high league for the most part. Would be shocked if they lost a football game all year long. Managed to get kids to come to Greenwood. What makes you think that he can't do the same at the college level, where he's played travel ball, where he has connections? Wide receivers and running backs want to play with outstanding quarterbacks. They want to play with a guy that's versatile, that is all over the place, that can read things, that has football acumen, which this kid has. I'm still wondering, I'm hoping he grows a little bit, just for his own sake. Not if he chooses elsewhere, still hope he has success, but that's a kid you need to land because he can open. We're talking about the idea that Doug McMillan can open up the doorway potentially to the Walton family. At least I think he can. Maybe that's just a hot take here on a Hot Take Monday, but this kid, it's already happening in high school. Yeah, they win another state championship. Maybe they three-peat by the time he hits his senior year. He's going to draw a lot of attention and praise. And you want that attention and praise to wind up in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I know that 2006 didn't end in a national championship, but it did end in an SEC championship appearance. Mitch Mustaine got a lot of praise in public praise for what he was able to accomplish in high school. You weren't able to land all the Springdale 5, but got a couple guys. And you just hope that that situation doesn't pan out where, first off, the kid stays in Fayetteville with the football program, but he also has a future there. I know Mitch was only here for a year, went out west. You don't want that to happen with Kane Archer in this upcoming football class. And this current one in 2025, because it's a very talented in-state class relative to what you usually have. 17 3-star better players in this class. That is not typical for Arkansas. I don't know if there's tons of generational talent. Carius Kern seems to get a lot of praise. The kid's currently committed to LSU, but you just have to wait and see. Sometimes, again, high school recruits don't always pan out. Hopefully for Carius, Kane, and others, they end up having successful careers. And for you, as an Arkansas fan, hopefully isn't in Fayetteville, Arkansas. You flip Carius and some of the other guys in this upcoming class. All right, it's been a good Hot Take Monday. As always, brought to you by our friends at Wheels RV. Appreciate Chris and Lee J always being a part of our Monday morning rush. Tomorrow, loaded show, including Coach Pat Jones. He joins us in the 7 o'clock hour. Get his thoughts on Oklahoma and Texas entering the league as of last month.